as some of your viewers may know, I publicly called for the arrest of the Goldman Sachs bankers in Greece, because remember in 2002, they fraudulently induced Greece to cook their books so they could gain entry into the euro. And now, years later, the country is going into a massive economic death spiral, and the government and the banks are asking these folks to go and adopt austerity measures. Why? So that Lloyd Blankfein can have a bigger Christmas bonus? That's outrageous. Now, men would understand this is tyranny. And here we are in Paris. Just about 2 kilometers that way is Place Concorde. After the French Revolution, how many heads were cut, decapitated in Place Concorde? Many, during the reign of terror. Why? Because the French government loaded up the country with massive debt and basically confiscated the wealth of the folks. What's happening in Greece? Bankers and politicians loading the country with debt. What are the people going to do? Rise up or lay down?
Rise up, I hope.
Die standing up or live on your knees. Now, that's the message you can take down to Greece. And when you do, I hope you're driving a very fast car.
By the way,
get on the Corniche and head, east.
The government agency here that was responsible for lopping everybody's heads off, it was the Ministry of Public Safety.
Doing a good job. From the tyranny of the bankers. It's the same thing. History repeats itself, and we're at that inflection point once again. And gold and silver was around then, and it's around today. It hasn't gone away. The intervening years of a fiat currency, fractional reserve, collateralized debt obligations, and all of the newfangled products we've seen come out of Wall Street. There's nothing really new. Back in France at that time, they had the assignat, which was a fiat currency collateralized by, guess what? Real estate.
Right.
It collapsed. You had a revolution. Here you've got collateralized debt obligations backed by what? Bogus real estate. It's collapsing. What's going to happen? Revolution. American Revolution Part 2, the sequel. The savers, the people who put money aside after they've worked for it, are subsidizing the speculators and the borrowers. This is the true divide that separates the have from the have-yachts. And this is truly what's going to catapult us into the global conflict, the insurrection against corporate and banking occupation. It's savers versus speculators. The savers have only one recourse. And it's true on the central bank level, and it's true on the individual level. It's precious metals. Both silver and gold, the manipulation of these two precious metals, are used by JP Morgan and HSBC and Goldman Sachs as a way to keep the dollar relatively high in value. And the US dollar is the means by which America imposes its imperium around the world.
One of the things I do love is the manipulation, and I hope it lasts a lot longer, because after a while, the more suppression there is, the less that comes to market. So eventually, when everybody rushes in, there isn't as much there. And the price goes a whole lot higher than if they had manipulated it. If they hadn't in the first place, there would be, if silver was $50 an ounce right now, there'd be plenty of silver coming to market. But there's a shortage that's caused by JP Morgan and these people manipulating the price.
Have you been talking at all about peak gold?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on that? Let me turn the tables here. What are your thoughts on peak gold?
Well, according to the USGS, the U.S. Geological Survey, gold is somewhere near its peak, but they say that silver is even shorter supply. They say there's, at current usage rates, there's 17 years worth of silver left, and there's like 24 years of gold left. But that's very, very short. I mean, and I think that we have hit peak gold. There are no large deposits being found these days.
Right. So that's going to, at some point, weigh heavily into the pricing, I would imagine.
Absolutely. It means when this huge gold rush happens, which has begun. I mean, we're already in the biggest gold rush in history. The amount of gold that's been sold to investors since 2001, 2000, is about 3 times the entire bull market of the 70s that drove gold up a factor of 24 times.
Right.
So, I mean, and we're only up like 4 or 5 times from 40 times from where we began in 2000. So there is pressure building, and this is just going to explode one day. And this time it's going to be worldwide. It's not going to be just the U.S. and Western Europe. I mean, you know, you're on TV, Russian TV.
Yeah,
and
they're diversifying out of the ruble. They're diversifying out of the dollar. You know, all these countries have huge dollar positions. China has huge dollar position, obviously, and they see this dollars and they see it. They're at risk. But they have this devil's bargain, don't they? You know, China is basically subsidizing Americans to go and buy Chinese goods, and there's this so-called symbiotic relationship, and they keep this thing afloat. But at some point, China's going to say, you know what? We just don't think America's going to be able to pay back $1 trillion or $2 trillion in the obligations that they owe us. And they've been acquiring gold, of course. They doubled their gold supply. Russia's been a net buyer of gold. Central banks, for the first time in decades, are buying gold. Okay, that's a huge buyer. Hedge funds, up until recently, they didn't care about gold. What's John Paulson doing now? What's Paul Tudor Jones doing now? They're buying gold. These are the sharpest, smartest guys in the world. They're buying gold now. So now you've got basically what's called the China put, don't you? And every time the price goes down 10, 20 bucks, there's China hitting the bid. Give me more, give me more, give me more. Okay? Just like the Greenspan put during the fiat currency years. Now you've got the China put during the hard metal years. It's never going down again when you've got a buyer like China with $3 trillion in reserves that they need to get out of, and the only thing there is gold. Then you've got hedge funds buying. Now what's left? The only thing left are the James Cramer acolytes who will call up their discount broker and scramble en masse in mass panic buying.
Yes.
And that's how you get to 5,000. And then from there, okay, you have your story. You've got, you know, I see 5,000, because for me 5,000 was when I retire. I'm out at 5,000. You won't hear from me anymore. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done. 5,000 is my out.
Take it and trade it for some
You just won't hear
real
from me.
estate or what?
You won't hear from me.
Okay.
I'm done. I'll be out. 5,000, I'm gone. You can play my videos, you can watch my YouTubes, but you won't hear from me anymore. I'll be gone. Where I'll be, doesn't matter. I'll be gone. 5,000, Max is gone.
You'll be where these governments can't find you because they're going to blame you for the price.
I've seen it before, you know. I'm a troublemaker. I just don't want to be picking up the pieces. You know, I'm getting my exit strategy set in place now.
Yeah.
Because when it gets to 5,000, they'll be like, you know what, that guy Keiser was right. You know, maybe we should take a closer look at him. That's why he won't be able to find me.
Tell me about capital controls.
Capital controls are nasty. Now, you've already see it happening in the U.S. They're already imposing some restrictions on moving large sums of money out. And you see this
having foreign bank accounts.
Foreign bank accounts.
Yeah.
So they're basically bringing them into for all the reasons that we know, because they want to trap people in their paper currency. So that's another issue, isn't it? Because when people hit the buy panic button, they'll find that, oh my gosh, I'm stuck in dollars. I can't get out of dollars. They'll do some tax issues. You know, it's not a one-way easy path toward gold 5,000, 10,000. There's going to be some bumps along the road in terms of political interference. There's going to be some social problems, and et cetera. So there's a lot of moving parts to this. So I would say if you go down this path of accumulating gold, understand that you are making not only an investment decision, but you're also making a political choice. And as such, you know, you are now politically you're making a slightly different choice than what your government typically would want you to make.
Right.
Now you can do that a little bit or a lot, but it is a political choice. You are going against the grain.
Yeah.
You know, you're a dissident in terms of the paper money.
You're not playing their game anymore. You're not playing their system. You're playing your own. You're playing the free market system.
Right. So when gold starts to pop over 1,500, 1,600 even, I think politically it's going to be different. So I'm just, you should put that out there, because it's just not about, buy it at 1,200, sell at 5,000 or 10,000, I make money. Because as it gets into these higher prices, it means that the banking system's collapsing. It means that everyone who's currently got power is going to be losing power. It means that there's a whole new generation of people without power who are going to get power. So there's now the great news is that the music will get a lot better. If you remember the 70s, when gold was much higher relative to everything else, you had Sid Vicious, you had the Sex Pistols, you had some of the best music ever created in the history of the universe, you see. This is what happens at gold market dislocations. You see what I'm saying?
I see.
You got a guitar? You got a guitar? I got a bass. Let's start a band. Gold
Dan
silver.
the cameraman does.
Definitely a punk rock band. You know, we got to find something to do because, quite frankly, at Gold 5000, I ain't going to have trouble figuring out how to spend my hours. There's not much I can do at that point. I'm thinking about a band. Okay, I got you down for lead guitar. You got a guitar in your pocket, or is it just gold coin? That would be great. You could pull
I don't know how to play
here's
the
my
guitar.
axe. I'm writing songs right now. Do you like guitar or do you want drums? What's your
Drums. I'll take drums.
Oh, drums. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take lead guitar.
Okay.
And we got to find some sexy woman to be the singer. You see, it's all happening.
Yeah. There you go.
You said, what more gold? Jesus. Oh my, this is, that must be real gold.
Yep.
Right, this is a Liberty dollar, I guess, right?
US? Walking Liberty, a gold eagle. US
All right,
gold
fantastic.
eagle.
I'll give you 100 trillion Zimbabwean dollars for this.
No way. No way. Zimbabwe currency used to be worth a Zimbabwe dollar was $1 US.
Look at all the
now
zeros.
It's infinity.
Look at all the zeros.
Yeah.
Okay, what is this? This is hardly one
can't
little zero. This is 1 0. This has like 30 zeros. Don't you want more zeros? I'll hold on to this for you for a short period of time, and you take this. I think that's fair.
No.
That's a fair trade.
There's no quantity of this paper currency that can buy that from me, that's for sure.
Basically, I think that everything that you're hearing here, everything that you've listened to, is a bunch of bullshit. Now, something is happening here that is ringing alarm bells, and it's saying that there's a crisis coming. If we deduct base money from the M3, what you see is that there's a collapse of the currency supply. This has not happened since the Great Depression.